Good afternoon. My name is Victoria and I am the facilitator for this information session today. Katie will be sharing some details and facts about Clarkson, and the session will run less than 45 minutes. Even though you do not have your camera or your microphone, you can communicate any questions that you have through the Q&A feature at the bottom of the screen. We do ask that if you forget a fact or you want to revisit some information, that you go to our website, oacac.org, where you will find a recording of this session within a week. And while you're there, check out some of the other information sessions that will be going on for this week and next week with several other universities from across the United States as well as other countries. And now I will turn it over. You'll see me again at the end because I have another short slide to show. And I thank you for your time and I hope you learn a lot.
All right, good afternoon. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Okay, here we go. So this is a wonderful little drone shot of our campus. So as you can kind of see, we're in a slightly rural area, nice small town, but the cool thing is that we are also one of 4 colleges in the area. It's a great spot to be for a series of small schools, but with a lot of great campus life because there are about 14,000 college students around. If you enjoy outdoor activities, you can see we definitely have a lot of green space, as well as not only the Racket River, but the St. Lawrence River nearby as well. We are a small school. We have approximately 3,300 undergraduates and around 700 grad students. The really nice thing about that is that 13-to-1 student to professor ratio. Small class sizes mean you actually know your professor and they know you. I say Clarkson is not where you go to hide in the back of the classroom because your professor will actually know your name. But that means a lot more opportunity for hands-on work, work in the lab, and small group work instead of kind of being lost in the crowd. So for our application process, we try and make it really as easy as possible. We are a Common App school, and I always tell students, if you're filling out the Common App, just add our school code. We have our own application, but it's actually based on the Common App. So if you're doing the Common App, there's really no reason to do ours separately. They look a lot alike. There's no application fee for Clarkson, which is also nice. And you can self-report any test scores that you have. Mind you, for fall 2021, for all of the obvious reasons, we are test optional. If you did happen to sit for an SAT or an ACT, or you get a chance to and you're happy with your score, feel free to submit that anyway. We will certainly take a look at it, but it's not going to be required for our fall 2021 applicants. Other than that, we need a transcript and 2 letters of recommendation. Doesn't matter who the letters of recommendation are from. And that's really enough to complete your application. We don't require any supplements or anything else when it comes to the Common App. We do have 2 application deadlines. We are an early decision and regular decision school only. We don't have early action. So December 1st for early decision and January 15th for regular decision are the deadlines. Nice thing is we automatically consider you for about 90% of our merit-based scholarships. So there isn't a lot of extra paperwork for you to do on that end. We do have a small handful of specialty scholarships that you do have to apply for separately. And those are due either January 15th or December 1st. We line everything up with those application deadlines so that you don't have to memorize a million different dates and things, because there's enough to do senior year. We understand that. It's a lot easier if you could just remember the application, and those specialty scholarships are all kind of due at the same time. We do actually also offer need-based aid, so we've definitely encouraged people to file the FAFSA. Even if you don't think you're going to be eligible for any federal grant money, that doesn't mean that there isn't some Clarkson grant money you would be eligible for, but we don't know if your family doesn't file the FAFSA, because that's the information that we'll use to run you through our need-based grant system as well. So undergraduate programs, we have a little bit of everything. Our School in Arts and Sciences is definitely our largest as far as variety of majors is concerned. And a little over 20% of our students are majoring in something in our School of Arts and Sciences. So not only are all of these majors available, but there are many different minors and concentrations as well. We'll break down a couple that people usually ask about. So biomolecular science, that's kind of organic chemistry meets biology. That's dealing with DNA, forensics, studying viruses, which is definitely very pertinent right now. And part of that actually includes a semester at the Trudeau Institute, which is pretty amazing. I'll talk a little bit about that later. Digital arts and sciences, that is your computer animation, your graphic design, your graphic marketing, things like that. Virtual reality work, there's a inflatable virtual reality tent that the department has that's pretty cool. Most of the other majors here do somewhat speak for themselves. Social documentation is pretty cool too. It's kind of social sciences almost meets computer science because it's studying cultures, but also making sure that it's digitally documented or taking old documents and preserving them by making them digital. Our School of Business, I always say, the majors and the names of them look a little bit different. That doesn't mean you can't go to Clarkson and go into marketing or become an accountant. They look a little different because actually our deans in the business department talked to CEOs of companies and said, okay, what are you looking for when it comes to hiring graduates? And based on what they were told, that's sort of where they came up with this list of majors. They didn't want someone who could only do one thing. They wanted someone with a wide business skill set. So business intelligence and data analytics, we all know everything we do all of the time, especially digitally, our data is being collected. Oh, they like this, they bought this. I think the phones are listening because, you know, you talk about something with your friend and all of a sudden you see an ad for it. Business intelligence and data analytics is really sort of analyzing not only that, but marketing and sales and figuring out what to do with that data, how to better market, how to better develop products, things like that. Global supply chain management, that's kind of the A to Z. That's understanding how something starts as a raw material or a set of raw materials, is harvested, goes to a factory, is turned into a product. That product is then shipped globally and sold and marketed worldwide. Innovation and entrepreneurship is exactly what it sounds like. So those that are looking to start their own business or invent things or, you know, even just learn how to run a business, that's really kind of your home. Financial information and analysis and mathematical economics, those are the really numbers driven. So if you want to go into finance, if you want to be an accountant or an actuary or something like that, those are those really numbers driven majors for you. Engineering and management is something that's a little bit unique in the sense that it is a dual engineering and business major. It is nationally accredited on both of the engineering side and the business side. So there are very few programs like this, and there's only 3 that are nationally accredited in both engineering and business, and this is one of them. Highly in demand major because a company would love to hire someone who can actually do all of the engineering work and has the business background to go with it. And there's some really cool undergraduate classes where you're going to work on a project on the engineering side and then learn about raw materials, marketing, finance on the business side of things. Engineering. This is definitely what Clarkson is known for. Almost 60% of our students are engineering majors. We're ranked in the top 3% of engineering schools in the country. So any type of engineering that you could possibly come up with, we have in some form or another. These are the majors, but there are also multiple minors and areas of concentration and everything from biomedical, which also now actually is a 4+1 master's degree program as well, to robotics. On the chemical engineering side, there is definitely some clean energy concentrations, things like that. Aeronautical engineering does include aerospace engineering for those that are interested in that aspect. We have multiple interns and co-ops with NASA, SpaceX, Harris, many other companies like that. Actually, one of our alums is currently a mission commander at NASA, so that's pretty fun. And another thing that I do like to say is a lot of our students, they mix and match majors, minors, areas of concentrations. There are very few Clarkson students that just have a single major. And part of that is because we don't make them do a lot of general education requirements. We really kind of focus you in your major from the beginning. So here's kind of a list of the majors that don't quite fit in any one box. We have the Institute for a Sustainable Environment, which is kind of the catch-all for our environmentally friendly majors like environmental health science, environmental science and policy. I touched on the interdisciplinary programs before. We also have pre-professional programs. So with students that are looking to go on to dental school, law school, med school, and vet school, we will make sure that you have all of those prerequisite classes that you need to then apply elsewhere to go to those schools. Clarkson, however, does have their own occupational therapy, physical therapy, and physician assistant grad programs. So you would not have to go anywhere other than Clarkson to then continue those in grad school. We actually have our own cadaver lab that you would actually get to do work in as an undergraduate as well for anatomy and physiology. Again, we're only a handful of schools in the country. We'll let undergraduates in the lab, and we are one of them. If you are still exploring and you're just not sure what you want to do, business studies, engineering studies, liberal studies, science studies, those will all kind of put you in the school that you're looking for, but as an undeclared. So freshman year, you can really explore. And then declare a major once you've kind of figured it out, instead of coming in, having to declare a major and then changing your mind. University studies is for those students who really just don't know what they want to do, or they're kind of considering between two very, very different things. You get a special advisor that will have you take the core classes, try the different areas, and really sort of help you pinpoint what it is that you want to major in, or what combination of things you should major in to sort of get you on the career path that you're most interested in pursuing. Professional experience. No matter what you decide to major in at Clarkson, you have to complete a professional experience. Co-ops and internships are the popular way to do that, because why not go work for a company and get paid and complete that professional experience at once? We have a career fair and a career services office that will help you with all of those things. Clarkson is also a research university, so research is something that any student who is interested in can get involved in. Professors love it when students walk up to them and say, "Hey, I'm really interested in research. What can I get involved in?" They will find a spot for you. Study abroad, which I will get into a little more detail on later, also is something that will fulfill that professional experience. It's also a requirement if you are going to be a business major. You have to do some sort of international experience as part of that program. So one of our little statistics slides, Clarkson students do earn one of the highest rates of internships, co-ops, and research positions across the US. And a big part of that is because we are a highly ranked, academically rigorous school with a small student body. There are always more positions offered to us than we are able to fill, which is a great problem to have. Where do students go to work? Where do students get internships and co-ops? Here is a very small selection of companies that our students go to. One that is not on here that I like to throw out there because it is one of our biggest hires is Lockheed Martin. And they hire our engineers, our business students, our science students. They hire a little bit of everybody from us. Here's a picture of our career fair. We were still able to have our career fair this fall. It was just done via Zoom, as we're all getting somewhat unfortunately used to. But normally this is what it looks like. These companies come to campus and kind of take over for 3 days. Students in between classes are able to walk around, distribute their resumes, network with the different representatives from the companies. And usually on the 3rd day, a lot of the representatives will sit down and conduct interviews for internships, for co-ops, and in many cases for our seniors for hiring for the spring. What all of this kind of culminates in are what I like to call the Clarkson Facts. We are in the top 40 schools in the country for early career earnings. That puts us in the top 3% of starting salaries for undergraduates in the country, which is great. Average starting salary is a little over $64,000. Placement rate, this is the big one. 97% of our students when they graduate are going on to a job in their field or grad school. If you do a co-op, that jumps up to a 100% placement rate. And our other little fun statistic, just because of all of the leadership qualities and opportunities that our students are given on campus, 1 in 5 Clarkson graduates actually ends up being a CEO, president, executive, or owner of their own company. Even if when they graduate, that's not their goal and they don't think that that's where their career is going to take them. It just seems to kind of be a natural fit for our students. Research opportunities. We have 7 research centers on campus, including our biomedical engineering and biomedical science and technology labs. But we have some very unique and interesting opportunities too. Now, the Trudeau Institute is located about an hour and a half from campus. It is one of the leading disease research institutes in the world. It's actually where the vaccine for tuberculosis was found. Our students have an opportunity to spend an entire semester there studying and working with some of the visiting scientists. They've been working on the flu vaccine for the last several years. The Beacon Institute, which is along the Hudson, just north of New York City, is a waters and estuaries research site that our students, especially our civil and environmental engineering students, tend to go and do research in. And our Adirondack semester, which is open to everybody, is a full semester being housed and taking classes in the Adirondacks and getting out and doing field work in the Adirondack Park, which is the largest park in the Northeast, actually. Oops, going backwards, forward. Exchange programs. We have 55 partner universities in 28 countries. So for those of you that are interested in study abroad, great opportunities all over the world. And they are all taught in English as well. That's usually the next question that I receive. So you can immerse yourself in the culture in South Korea, in Taiwan, in any of these countries. If you have some language skills, that's great and recommended, but you will be able to actually take your courses in English. You work with our international office. They will make sure that all of your classes line up so that what you take at the partner university transfers back to Clarkson, and also will kind of prep you with not only the paperwork, but anything that you need to know culturally or anything else. We will not just shove you on a plane and say, okay, have fun. We'll see you when you get back. They will definitely work with you to make sure that you're prepared. Student life. We have 240 clubs and organizations on our campus. So my running joke is if you're interested in it, we probably have a club for that. We have everything from club and intramural athletics to Division III sports in 17 different sports, and we are Division I men's and women's ice hockey. But we also have leadership clubs, we have photography, we have arts and music clubs, we have there's a fashion club. There's really a little bit of everything for everyone. We also bring in lots of different concerts, comedians, films, things like that. And again, having 3 other colleges within about a 20-mile radius of us is nice because you actually also have the opportunity to go to different events and things on their campus as well. Our second most popular club behind our outing club are definitely our SPEED teams. SPEED stands for Student Projects for Engineering, Experience, and Design. There are 12 different SPEED teams. This is the Baja vehicle. Actually, just looks like fun. I would like to drive it. And here are the different SPEED teams. So the only requirement for joining these SPEED teams is that you have to be certified on the machines required to build them, because you will actually be building the chemi car. You will be building the plane for the design, build, fly. You will be building that Baja vehicle, the snowmobile, all of those things, body work, engine, all of it are built by our students. The cool thing is you actually get to compete against other colleges based on whatever the challenge is for the year. And you'll compete nationally and internationally, which is really cool. Our actually Baja vehicle just won the Northeast Regionals, and 2 years ago, the Design Build Fly team actually won the World Championship. So they are very, very successful teams and a whole lot of fun to join. You don't have to be an engineer to join them. Most students just say, but I'm not an engineer. That's okay. If you like to do things with your hands, if you like to learn, if you like to build, there's actually usually also a business component to them, which is kind of nice too. It's just a really great opportunity to work on a team using a great combination of skills. Also, because it is a club, it is funded by staff, gifts, endowments. Corporate sponsors, actually the snowmobile body, we have an alum at Polaris that donated snowmobile bodies, so they don't have to build that one anymore. They can just worry about working on the engine. Here's kind of an overview of some of the machines that you would get trained on if you did decide to join a speed team. Don't worry, they will walk you through every single step of how to run the machines and what to do. It's worked into your curriculum as a student if you're interested. I have no idea what most of these do, but I love watching the final products. And here's actually a list of those training courses. This is the Baja team working on some things for the car. And speaking of, here's some pictures of the competition. So they actually get to put everything in the trailer, go travel, have fun, compete. And we were able to do that this fall, even with COVID. Following safety protocols, the students were still able to work on all of the teams and compete nationally. Resources. Clarkson is a small school, and part of the reason that all of the students can become involved in all of these things is because of all of these different support services. If you need anything, Student Success and the Diversity and Inclusion Office are there to help you. If you have any accommodations, either coming from high school or you find you need accommodations, or if you're like one of our student workers who happened to fall and break a leg, they will make sure that you have everything you need to be able to continue to get to class, get your work done, and succeed. Our first year advising program is kind of cool because not only do you have an academic advisor, but you actually get a first year mentor. So somebody that you can actually just talk to if you're stressed out, if you need help with anything, or sometimes it's just, I'm not from this area. What is there around here to do? Where's a good place to eat? What do you kind of, suggest I do to explore and get out of my dorm room kind of stuff? Test prep, students that are looking to go on to grad school, our pre-med and pre-health kids that need to take MCATs or any other exams to move on into the graduate programs. We have prep classes for all of those things. And basically, I like to say what this sort of all really leads to is simply Clarkson has a great reputation academically, job placement wise, and it's really across the country. Our students may go to school in a small town in upstate New York, but after that, they really do spread out all over the place. Partially because we are working with major national and international companies for our co-ops and our internships. So if you are interested in learning a little bit more about Clarkson, you can definitely contact our office, go to our website at any point in time. We are offering virtual tours, virtual interviews. There's a virtual map that you can kind of, check out campus. We are open and in person right now as well. Our students are in dorm rooms, going to actual classes, which is absolutely fantastic considering everything that's been going on. If you have any questions, my name is Katie and I'm actually the admissions counselor for your area. So you can contact me at any time. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Katie. That was sweet, short, sweet, and simple. I like that. Beautiful pictures of campus. With being able to see what Clarkson has to offer, I do want to thank you for your time in watching this presentation or the one that will be available on oacac.org within a week. When you visit that website, please make sure that you sign up for some other sessions. If there are any questions that you have, reach out and contact Katie. When I end this webinar, there is a short 4-question survey for you to complete. We do appreciate you doing that. And again, thank you for your time. Thank you, Katie, for the wonderful information.